Good morning, everybody that is listening in the UK, USA, Australia, and worldwide. This is Radio Tony. This morning I'm solo. Tony's having a holiday. So welcome and listen to live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. We have my EVA Payo ready and waiting to respond to your comments and questions with website links and subscribe and email. Now, big shout out and thank you to all the people that are helping this station happen today. Replays of the live shows are also available on Binge TV, Networks USA, and via the TONI TV channel app on Roku, LG, Samsung. Links in the chat, which will be put up after this interview with the fabulous Karen McDermott. How are you, Karen?
I am really good, Kaz. How are you?
Fabulous. And all the better for having you on here with me this morning.
We always have wonderful conversations, Kaz, and now everyone can get an insight into that, hey?
I think so, yes. Yeah. It's my first solo without Tony, so I'm relying upon your professionality to keep me going.
I got you, don't worry.
Oh, good. So, I just want to ask you a few questions, and really it's all about the law of attraction. Your books on the law of attraction, they are absolutely amazing. So, Karen, you are a heart-driven publisher, a 3 major publishing companies and an author of 30 books, an inspiring entrepreneur, a busy mum of 6, a radio host and master in the law of attraction, and so much more. Karen is dedicated to helping you find your story and just as eager to involve you within her authors groups for the support we all need as publishing authors. Karen has won many awards as an ausmumpreneur, as a speaker on the TEDx stage, and as an international entrepreneur holding many retreats at Crom Castle Island. Karen is a firm believer in the law of attraction, and each one of her recent 4 books, with 4 more to be published on this topic, the law of attraction. Today, we will introduce her recent release and bestseller, The Law of Love. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much for having me, Kaz. Doesn't that all sound so wonderful? What an adventure life is, hey?
I know, I just can't believe you do all that. I look at you and I think, how do you do that? I was a mum of 4 and I was flat out.
6 is my number. It's my number. I was the eldest of 6, and so now I have 6 myself, and they grow up so fast. It's like, wow. So I wanted to do life my way without compromising my values. And I absolutely do that because I wanted to be a hands-on mum. I wanted to be able to bring my kids to school, pick them up. But I'm really ambitious, so I like to push boundaries, see where I can get with things, but I want to bring everyone along for the ride. And as I was, my trajectory for success was just rising and rising, everybody started asking me, how do you do life, Karen? You always seem to be hanging out in joy. You always seem to be kicking goals. How do you do it? And so I decided to start writing the Alchemy of Life Magic series under KP Weaver, which is my maiden name. So I have my entrepreneurial hat on with Karen McDermott, and I write under KP Weaver. And the freedom of it, the freedom to write to my own rhythm, is the most beautiful thing. I can't imagine being under the pump with deadlines and stuff, although I do set my own self-imposed deadlines, but I enjoy meeting them. It's such a privilege to be able to do this, and then for people to want to read my writing. And I've told you before, like, I have to thank you so much for being such an advocate for all of my books, because I love that you love them so much. And I write on there's 7 life principles that I absolutely live through, and so that's why there's 7 books in the series. And there's mindfulness, knowing, intention, love, gratitude, forgiveness, and belief. And those are the 7 life principles that I live through.
Right. So I was very attracted to the law of love. And what was the attraction for you, Karen, when you sat there? I know where you sit to write. You sit in your backyard and you watch your kids play. So what was it that attracted you to become the master of the law of attraction, which you are? You're a master at it. So the law of love I actually found it more powerful than the 3 before. What do you think made it more powerful, or was it just my intake on it?
Well, people are going to gravitate towards different books in the series because maybe love is your thing. And for me, love had to be book 4 because that's the center of the 7. So love is always at the heart of everything that I do. So when you do something with loving intention, it's like a super fuel. It's like you are supercharging the experience and the results that you can get. And so love is a very powerful aspect of attraction. And I don't know if you knew this, but before the law of attraction was called the law of attraction, it was actually called the law of love. It's known as that because when you put loving intention into something, you get the biggest, best results in the fastest time possible.
You do, yeah. I must admit, I have practiced it occasionally when I know I've got to love this, I've got to love it all the way through. And you do get the best results out of it, no matter what the situation. I mean, to me, I have time to look back and think, I could have done that, but I could have added love to that as well, even though you think you've done the best. So yeah, I agree. On page 32 of this book, it says you always want the best outcome for everyone involved. Is that how the law of love works?
Well, it's an individual thing, really, because when you fuel love, whenever you fuel, make love is the answer in any scenario, whether it's in a disagreement or whether it's in raising your children or whether it's injecting it into your business. When you do things through love, you will always get the best case scenario outcome. That's what I believe, and I know that from experience. But when you choose love as the answer to all kind of scenarios in your life,
Mm,
it just becomes a habit. So then you're
yes,
always doing things with the loving intention. So
I
loving
agree.
intention
Mm,
becomes part of you. It becomes part of your how you do solutions or just how you just do life really.
mm,
So that's what that is. And then by doing that, then you're showing others how to do it. You're not doing it for them. They are learn from you and how you do things, and
that's
they
right.
will maybe make that choice to do it for themselves because we all have the capability to do it. We are all born with it. It's just some of us make that choice more than others.
That's right. I totally agree. So when you immigrated from Ireland to Australia, uh, were you practicing the law of love then, or was it unbeknown that you were actually practicing it?
I've always done it, but I didn't do it intentionally. So whenever I came to Australia, 35 weeks pregnant with my third child, I waddled here, Kez. I wasn't an
I bet you
author
did.
in fact. I wasn't an author in any way. We knew nobody, but it was as if it was like a clean, just there's nothing beautiful than a new beginning. And
Mm,
as much as my intentions were to set up home for our family and, nesting and nurturing with a new baby, I started to be called into writing, and I started doing some children's books with my kids called Mama Mac's Homemade Children's Books to teach them about Australia and things because they didn't understand. I had a 10-year-old, or sorry, a 12-year-old and a 2-year-old at the time, and then my baby.
mhm,
And so then I got called into to start writing more spiritual books or articles that I wrote for Building Beautiful Bonds. They started getting picked
mm,
up by Universal Mind magazine, and I started getting featured in there quite a
right.
lot. All of
Mm,
those articles are in Heart Notes, which you wrote and reviewed a few weeks ago. And that I couldn't write that now because that was a period of my life where I was going through a spiritual awakening and just really because I had went through about 14 months of PTSD, and I call that my cocoon period because I
uh-huh.
learned so much about myself through that. But when I came through it, I made the sacred promise to myself to live life at a higher vibration. And I didn't know what that looked like. I just had the essence of that and the intention of that. And I suppose everything fell into place for that to happen. So when I was doing when I was never grew up with all of this. I
No,
grew up Catholic in Ireland,
that's right.
and
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
never did the whole fear thing. I don't live in fear ever. I'm curious, and if somebody tells me something, I go, that may be all right for you, but it's not going to be a fit for me. So I'm going to find a
Mm,
different way to do it.
mm.
And it's okay to do that. And I
It
had the
is.
support of my family to do that. So I was always allowed to be curious and explore and experience things, which was
Mm,
wonderful. And so when I actually started writing these articles, I stumbled across the law of attraction and I read The Secret, which is wonderful, but I can understand how it blows people's minds because you're going, oh my God, I have to
mm,
keep a check on my thoughts. And the
yes.
average person has over 40,000 thoughts a day. How are you supposed to manage that? It'll drive you insane. So I decided I was really curious about it. And when I'm curious
Hmm.
about something, I learn it at a super and then give it my own spin, how
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
absorb the information
Yeah.
and process it. And so I did that. I did it with Joe Vitale. I done his Law of Attraction course, and then I did the Advanced Law of Attraction Practitioner course. But I never told anybody about it. I just decided I would test myself and
Yes.
see how I could use this information and apply it to build up $1 million publishing press, which was my intention. And because I got very passionate, once I wrote my first novel in 2010, had the negative self-publishing experience, but took the positive out of that, which was that I learned a lot about publishing. I done a bit more
Mm,
research and set up my own publishing press. I promised myself that I was going to build a $1 million publishing press, but help people get their stories told in a positive way because there's so much power in
mm.
it. Mm.
There's well, everybody, as you and I both know, has a story inside them. But what I like about you is you bring out the power of the story. You encourage people, don't you, to bring out their own powerful story. I mean, you're there to interrupt when need be. But I've seen you work, and I sit back in absolute amazement, and I think too a little bit of jealousy because why didn't I know this when I was your age? Why not? Why now? But it will be for a good use that you see someone of so young climbing that beautiful ladder of the law of attraction and injecting love into everything she does. That's amazing. You've done
Oh,
so well.
thank
I'm so
you.
proud of you.
Thank you so much, Kaz. That really means a lot. And I treasure you, you know that. And I treasure your journey. I just love being a part of it. And I love being a part of all of my authors' journeys. But,
Yes, you do.
when somebody reads your book, they get to escape, they get to learn from you,
Mm,
they get to hear your voice through your writing. And
mm.
that is an absolute, and it's for a reader, that's a gift. And to be able to go through the process of writing the book and then
Yes,
editing the book and then
yes.
publishing the book.
Oh,
Anybody who
yes.
goes through those and then marketing the book, anybody who sticks the course of becoming an author deserves
Mm,
all of the accolades that comes with the authority of authorship because an
that's
author
beautiful.
is in authority because you
That's right.
deserve it and it's instant recognition because of the journey you've been on.
That's dead right. So, the four books that you wrote, that you've written about the law of attraction.
Okay, let me
Um,
show. I'll show here.
sure. Yeah,
Got them here. Okay, so this is book one, The Magic of
that's right. Yes, I've
Mindfulness.
got that one.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. And this is book two, The Power of
yes,
Knowing.
that's a good
That's
book
one that
also.
I keep getting called into business arenas to talk about because when you know how to know properly, you're
Yes,
able to make decisions with unwavering faith. And
that's
so
right.
it's the most productive thing you can do, and it's total success driver, that one. And then The Miracle of Intent, which is book
Beautiful.
three.
Mm.
And then this is the one that you love, is The Law of Love.
Beautiful cover. And it matches your jacket again.
It goes with my outfit today.
It
I
does.
did not do that on purpose. And then also and you've read this one as well, is My Life Magic Conquer Kit, which I absolutely
Yes.
love. This
Yeah.
was me answering the call from people. And in the new year, we're going to do a course alongside this, an 8-week course where I walk people through the transformation
Beautiful.
because
Yeah.
it's a journey, isn't it? It's a big journey and
Certainly
then
is. It
that
certainly
awakening.
is. Yeah. And it's also, once I read your books too, it certainly pulled me up in my tracks. Like we all get thoughts of, look, I just can't be bothered or what's going on, and you might have a bit of a moan, but I've always found, as you advise in the book, watch what you're thinking. Words are very powerful. They're so powerful. So watch what's actually coming out of your mouth.
Oh,
You might be able to
absolutely.
if you can think it, don't say it. Just cancel that thought in your head.
Especially when you're setting intentions, try to hang out in the love and gratitude space for productive reasons. Really,
Yes.
write down what you're grateful for, because when you write something down, you're actioning it in your brain. It's an actual action, so it's
That's
putting
right.
the wheels in motion for something. And one of the things is we are human. I
Yes.
don't talk with love all of the time. I'm a mum of six. I'm gonna growl sometimes,
Yes. Yeah.
but it's true love, tough love. But
Yes.
also, sometimes you just need a grumble to release. But once
Yeah.
you just release and back onto the track, and also in those days where I am just not feeling it, my energy is low, I'm going to close over that to-do list and I'm going to switch off and I'm going to binge Netflix, or I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to do something that just lets my brain blur for a moment and just fill up that soul cup. Because often whenever people talk about fatigue and talk about being tired a
Exactly.
lot, it's because their soul is tired, not because they're
That's
physically
right.
tired. It's really your soul's tired. So spend some time on understanding what that is for you, because it's not about anybody else. It's about you. What can you do to ignite that life within you, that life force within you, so that you can experience joy in that day? And once you
That's right.
experience that joy
Yes.
first, it snowballs and then it becomes a big part of your life. We all need to prioritize joy in our lives. The more people doing that, the more that we are living life at a higher vibration, and then we're able to pour into each other. And then there's a ripple effect in the world, when we do that. So we need to prioritize our own joy as well.
You certainly do. So when my cup's empty, or I'm feeling it even half empty, I tend to head for the beach or for the forest, where I can just sit and breathe, and not think about books or writing or anything that's going on in my life. Yesterday, I went down to what we call the pond, and I was so in awe of watching all the different activities. It's so much fun just sitting there and watching. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'd break my neck if I got up on the boards like they do. But yeah,
Yeah.
and watching. What I love is their faces. They're full of joy, absolutely full of joy. Yeah,
And that's
so
the thing. That's their thing. That's what's making them feel
that's right.
joyful. And so
Yeah,
they're doing it. And, just sitting there as an author, just sitting observing people is actually, it's like food for thought and food for
oh
for
yes,
books.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. I
Love it.
often sit there and think to myself, if only they knew that I'm writing about them, they wouldn't be doing what they're
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah. And nature as well, Kaz, like nature is a really big one. Like I love it when it comes to this time of the year here in Perth. The sun's up before 5 a.m. There's,
Yes.
you can just feel the energy of the day.
Mm.
So I often go outside of the house and just, and I have a desk outside that I write with
Yeah,
in my, out my patio, and just to, just sit in that energy. It's just regenerating.
it is.
And when you take those days out, it's like, as I talk about the power of the pause,
Mm.
people don't understand how powerful it is to step back, just to,
That's right.
to not
Mm.
think about everything that you're doing, just to step back and let things be, because things are always happening in the background, but just for you to recalibrate, to see things more clearly. If you have a problem, pouring into that problem when you're not feeling at your best is just going to make it worse. You need to step back. You need to
Mm.
go and do something, and then go for a walk. A walk is a beautiful thing. It just clears the mind and helps
Yeah,
you see things with a different perspective. And then you can come back re-energized and with clear focus. And I do the power of the pause. I go in the rhythm of school holidays because that's what works for me. And every 10 weeks, whenever school holidays are on for 2 weeks, my mindset changes and I shift gears, and I declutter my life every single 10 weeks,
mm.
because what serves, I've grown a lot in the 10 weeks. So what serves me at the beginning does not, and so I shed it and pass it on to somebody else that it can serve. I
Mm.
talk about that a lot.
Yes, you do. Now I'm going to step aside to Crom Castle, the place of magic. Tell
Yeah.
the listeners about Crom Castle, Karen. How did you actually? I know you lived close to Crom Castle. You used to visit the grounds, but what gave you the idea of having a retreat there?
This is an inspired thought that I actioned, and I talk about inspired thoughts all of the time because when you set an intention, and I set the intention, I had just come out of the 2015 ausmumpreneur um, or conference, and
Yep.
I realized I was playing the publishing game pretty small business. I could do so much more. So I
Yep.
opened up my mind and I went back to Ireland in 2016, and I realized that like I didn't have a connection with the Earl at that time. We were both from different communities in Ireland. You know, the way you've got the Catholics and Protestants. We were both from. So I had this inspired thought that what if we hosted a
It's
retreat,
beautiful.
a
What
writer's
if?
retreat at a
Yeah.
castle.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a really cool idea. That would
Yeah.
really, gain some brand awareness for my publishing house. And it would be an
Yes.
amazing experience. And I love experiences.
Mm.
So I just reached out to the Crom Castle and I said, I'm coming over to Ireland on this date. Is there any chance that we could have a meeting about a potential writers' retreat at the castle? And I did not even know if the castle was open to hosting any guests or anything. It was just an inspired thought that I actioned. And I got a response. Hello, Karen. We would love to have a meeting about the potential of this and this, that, and
Mm.
the other. And so we did, and we got the ball in motion. I thought it's going to cost me a fortune because, hiring a castle isn't cheap. It could have
That's
just
right.
all fallen on its face. But we filled the castle. We had the best experience, and I never lost a penny. So there you go. And so we have been trying to do it every year since. It's kind of been every 2 years now. But
Mm-hmm.
when things settle down, we will be doing it every year. Going back in June, but you came in 2019, Kez,
I
and you
did.
know the magic in that castle. You
Pure
can't
magic.
explain what it's like until you experience it. But you
And
know
even
what?
then, I found it hard to explain what happened. But I just knew.
Yes.
I mean, you said to me in the castle while we were having morning tea one day, you said to me, so when are you going to publish your book of poetry? I said, I haven't got any. And I left it like that, not knowing that I had 85 poems collated when I got home, and it's been cooking away, so next year there will be a published book out. But knowing that, I don't know, there was everywhere you went in the castle, there was like little pockets that you could just sit and breathe and take it all in. Like, I'm in a castle in Ireland, and even walking the grounds, there were pockets that you could just sit and breathe. Magic place to be. I would advise anyone that they had the opportunity to go.
It's a huge experience. It's just something that I believe everybody should experience in their lifetime, and I've had the joy of experiencing it 4 times now.
Yes,
So, and
yeah,
every single time, it's the deep connections that's built. So when you have a location as magical as the castle, which is absolutely private ground, so
mm,
you are secluded. There is a national forest all around you.
mm,
There's waterways. There's just the most beautiful, just little things that you're going to find that are all
yes,
part of a castle. And then you've got the Earl and the Countess who live there and who come and add some magic to it as well and who host a gala dinner. And the
yeah,
whole experience is enhanced. And it's one that you pinch yourself. You go,
I
is
do,
this really happening?
yeah,
Because this is the most magical experience. And that never goes away. It's the same as, whenever you write a book and you hold, like I've written over 40 books now. And every
yeah,
time a new one of my books comes in, it's just like, oh, it's the most magical
yeah,
experience. But
it
at the
is,
castle, the connection that happens because the
yes,
environment is so
yes,
special, the connection
yes,
that happens and so that's why it's really important. And I spend a lot of time, I have said no to people to come to the castle because I didn't think there would be a right fit. But it's important to have the right blend of people
mm,
together. And
mm,
like everyone who was at the castle the last time, for our writers retreat are like family now. It's an
they are,
absolute writers family. It's beautiful.
yeah, amazing. I've never, I was part of that last trip, and I am part of that family, and yeah, I literally get, I don't know, emails and messages and texts from these beautiful authors that I met, and there's been a relationship built, and it's been 2 years since I've been there. So, yeah,
And every one of
again,
them is now has advanced in their writing career so much. Like everybody's become a published author. Colors in Me anthology has many people in it. There's so many opportunities that have come
yes,
just from
yeah,
being there and from
that's right.
connecting. We got to meet we got to meet amazing, like Jane Talbot was there and she done a workshop. Like
Beautiful.
she's truly amazing,
She
It's
is.
just
Yeah,
yeah, really amazing authors as well who come and
yeah,
join us.
absolutely. And what I love, I was driving in the bus going up to the castle, and I saw a fox and I saw a deer, and you don't see those in Australia. You don't see deer. So
And
yeah,
yeah, I
it
always
was right.
drive the bus. I always
Yes,
drive the minibus around and
yes,
courier everyone around. I love
you
doing it.
do.
And I laughed online when it was you commented about the bus ride to the hairdressers for the gala dinner. And like you got to understand, in Ireland, there's little tiny roads that barely fit one car, and there's two cars trying to pass. And here I am in a minibus, and they're not really good roads; they're dirt tracks sometimes, and
Mm,
and I just know them like the back of my hand because I
yes,
grew
you
up there for
do.
31 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and so I just drive like that. It's just natural, and Ken's like, wow. And it's
It's
become a running
amazing.
joke with everybody who came in 2017 and 2019. Yeah, Karen's driving is an experience.
I love it. It was like, oh, well, I'm buckled on now. I'll just hold on.
Yeah. And
It's
then the
amazing.
writing drunk theme as well. I always bring everyone we went to the Game of Thrones pub, remember? And we had the Irish music.
No, I wasn't there. I
Oh,
didn't
you
go to
didn't
that
go
one.
oh,
No.
that's right. It was amazing. It was so fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So with
Excellent.
the lockdown that happened,
Yes.
it certainly changed the way we communicate with each other.
Mhm.
Would you agree that the law of attraction um, gave you the ability to communicate more, or can I use the word better?
Yeah. Well, I have to admit, from my perspective, I was always COVID ready, because I'm so flexible in my life.
Mm,
If I need to
mm,
work from home, I can work from home. If the kids need to be around, they need to be around. So I'm just very flexible that way. So, it didn't affect me, practically or emotionally in any way. I think that
mm,
a lot of people who had to, really initiate huge changes in their lives, had a
mm.
lot of adapting to do, and that comes with a bit of
Yes,
shock to the system.
does.
And it also brings us inward, and some people don't want
Mm.
to go inward.
No,
And
the true.
yeah, and so it has to be a choice, but when it's forced upon you, there's a little resistance, and people, can feel very unsettled around that because journeying inward and embracing an awakening. I call it an awakening because you're realizing your own potential. People don't
Yes,
realize their own potential and how powerful they are in their own lives. And some people don't
yes,
want to be that. They want to, just go with the rhythm of how convention, and that's totally cool if you choose that to be. But
yeah.
for me, that's not enough. I want to to experience life at a whole level. And I choose not to go,
Mm,
energetically some
yeah.
places because it's not it's not aligned with what I'm wanting to do. But I
Mm,
know that I could if I wanted to. But
mm,
for everyone who, I believe that a lot of people got good things out of COVID, as much as it was a negative experience, and the energy of it rippled across the world and it was felt by everyone. But I think that a lot of people could, manage it differently. But it was an
yes.
opportunity for a lot of people to declutter and prioritize themselves in their life. People's
Mm,
priorities change, I believe, and that can be a
mm.
good, you know.
Well, Karen, we're just about at the end of our time, so I will put down the details of where to contact you. But if people want to purchase your books, do they just go to those contacts that will be written up on the screen? Or how do they actually go about contacting you? I mean, they can't ring you. So, how do they go about ordering your books? Because
Yeah,
you can't go wrong ordering these books.
Absolutely. Well, you know, you can go to mmhpress.com, that's the publisher. But if you want to go to kpweaver.com, you'll find all my TEDx talks there. You'll find lots of information. There's free meditations and mindful moments on there as well, and all of my books are in there as well. So go and have
Okay.
a quiz around there.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Karen. It's been an absolute delight.
My absolute pleasure, Kez, as always. Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Where are you, TJ?
We should just keep talking, Kez.
Yeah, okay, we'll just keep talking.
I
don't mind at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good. So I got notification the scribe left yesterday. So I'm
Yes.
fingers crossed they're here today or tomorrow. So
Oh,
I'll let
wow.
you know. I woke up
Yes.
this morning in horror that I thought it was Thursday and it's actually Wednesday. So I've been gifted an extra day in my mind.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah, it's really good.
it's just going to be excellent. I just know that the people there will the people attending will just love it. And you know, already the movies in its can, even though they say it's in the can, it's really a thumb drive, but it's in the can. I love that.
Oh,
I
it's
love
in
all
the
the digital
can.
work.
I
And
love it.
there's a the tune, what do you call it?
Same
The
tune.
yeah, will be played at the book launch. Yeah, so yeah, and the actors
Isn't
will
it
be
just
there as
next
well.
level experience, isn't it, Kez, to have a
Amazing.
movie to go along with your book? Like,
Yeah,
goodness me, you know,
yeah,
that whole process was just phenomenal, wasn't it?
it is. It is. So it's like oh, he says we've got another 20 minutes, so I'm happy with that too.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Hang
Well,
on,
you
I'll
know
just have
what,
to.
Kez, you know, and I've watched you use the law of attraction in your life
I
to
do.
have, like, since we have been working together, especially, I have watched you're like a master manifester, as in you put your energy into something, but your results that you get is so much bigger than you could have imagined because you're open to whatever that needs to be.
Well, as you know, Karen, I taught motivation, which is sort of the same thing, but it's really changing your thought pattern. Motivation literally is changing your thought pattern. So I taught that for many years, and I wrote a manual of it, which the New Zealand government still uses in some of their schools. But the law of attraction was what pulled me more than anything, because it's not exactly, it's something that happens inside your heart. That's the
Mm.
law of attraction to me. It's when you're sitting and your cup is sort of full, and you think, no, it needs topping, it needs coming up to the top so it doesn't spill over, it's just sitting there. And that's what your books have done for me. They're absolutely magic. Just knowing that um, we're all going to have hardships, we're all going to have problems, we're all going to have worries and stress, but it's knowing that it's going to be fine. It's just going to be fine. No matter what you do, it's
Everything's
just
going
going
to
to be
be
fine.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah. And having the faith in the people that back you as well. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of people that, including yourself, that say, I've got your interests at heart. Well, you know, that means so much to any author or any creative, actually, to know that we have people that say, I like what you write. I mean, just recently, I did have some people say, when's your next book out? And I just about ran through the house trying to tell my husband, look what I've got. I've got inquiries. So, the law of attraction really works for me. I know it works, and people don't know they're using it. That's the beautiful thing about it. They don't know until they read books like you've written.
Yeah. And it's intentionally using it. Every single person on this earth uses the law of attraction, either in a good way or a bad way, because if we're putting energy into negatives, we're going to get more negatives. If we choose to put the energy into positives, we're going to get more positives. So it's just as simple as that. And as humans, we make life so complicated, which is
We do.
tragic. It
I
doesn't have
know.
to be
I
that way.
know. So, how closely do you work with the majority of your clients?
Well, I have to admit, I go on the journey with my authors. That is
You
why I'm
do.
very selective of who I work with. Now, I also train publishers, so there's always a home for every author that comes
Oh,
my way.
yes, you
So
do.
yeah, and people have said to me, "Oh my God, you say that's like training your competition." And I'm like, "There's no competition. My mission is to help stories get told. I can only do so much, and because I have to really go on the journey with authors. But if somebody just wants to publish a book, I can pass you on to someone who can help you do that. So, because the journey of writing a book, no matter what book it is an evolutionary process. An author is going to go on a journey. They're going to hit different types of stumbling blocks, and they need guidance to move through them. But it's because they've set big intentions. And when you set big intentions, you're going to have challenges to overcome, because you need to evolve into the person where it's just the next step. It's just the next natural step to receive what it is you want to happen. And so that comes with growth. And so people don't realize that, and a lot of people think of challenges as negatives, whereas challenges are opportunities to learn something new or to evolve and grow.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
and they're not brick walls, or to recalibrate. If you're not feeling it, it's a time to
Yeah,
go, well, maybe this isn't for
yeah,
me. Because your
that's right.
heart has to be in it. Your heart is driven through passion. And if you're not pursuing a career, or you're just doing, a job where you're just in the motions, you're not living, that's the thing. And there
Mm,
will always be challenges whenever there's growth. So there you go.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I like that, just what you said, that, we all have challenges. It's how we look upon them, entirely how we look upon them. Some of them can be pretty serious. I mean, you just had a really serious challenge in your life recently with your little girl, but it's how you handled it, and who you encourage to help you handle this. It's so important to know that once we start practicing the law of attention, that it will provide. You don't go without, it will provide.
Well, again, in that scenario, I poured love into that
Mm,
situation, and we got the best case scenario. But I watched healing love in motion, from
yes.
me, from doctors, everything
Mm,
for that to happen. And then also the aftercare, it's just all about your energy
mm,
shifting from there to there, because that's where it needs to
mm,
be. And so I just felt very blessed that in my chosen career path, and that I'm able to be my own boss, and
yes.
I was able to step back and allow my team to move forward. And I even wrote an article. I even got, in the downtime
I
where I
read
just
that. Yes.
sitting,
Yeah.
I wrote an article for Forbes.
Yes, I
Just
saw that.
it was like, have you got room in your business? What would happen in your business if you had a
Mm,
tragedy, if something happened?
mm,
And our health is our wealth. No amount of money can ever substitute your health. You know what I
that's right.
mean? So
Mm,
that is where it is. If you're
yeah,
not healthy, you're not able to, you won't ever be able to do that. So, and if your family's not healthy, that's the thing. So
that's right.
that was love in motion again, and we got the best case scenario result
You
out
did.
of it.
She's absolutely well and beautiful. She really
Mm,
is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
So if there's no castle retreat this year or next year, is it
June
next year you're going to have?
22,
Okay. So when is the next one? When's the next retreat and where is it?
June 20. Well, we've got the one in MMH Press is down in
Mm-hmm.
Peel Manor House in March, I believe, 14th to 18th. 15th to 18th, and then we have, and so then we'll have a little St. Patrick's Day event on
Yeah.
it. Bring the Irish
Lovely.
to Australia.
Yeah.
And then, we're over in Ireland in June, and we're hosting a retreat there. And Emma's actually doing a TEDx event the week before the retreat, so I'll be at that. And then the retreat is from the 14th to the 13th to the 18th of June.
Okay.
So that's going to be amazing. Yeah, it's going to be
Yes,
amazing.
I'm looking forward to the MMH one. That will be
Yeah,
amazing
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just down the road, Kez.
Yeah, it's just down the road. mean, if I get up early enough, I could walk there, but I can't be bothered.
I love it there. There's such a good energy, and it's a really good location. And again,
It
it's kind of
is.
secluded out there, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful home. And that's it's just so gorgeous, and what they do there is amazing.
And the staircase is a miniature of Crom Castle.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely. It
Yeah, and I
is.
think that when you walk into the castle, the first thing that greets you is this magic double-ended staircase. And you think, after you've met the Earl and he's given his little chat about the castle and the history, I knew I couldn't go up there. It was private, totally private up there, but you are your whole being just wants to go to the top of the stairs and see if there's even more magic. It was just I kept looking and waiting for the fairy princess to come down to the top of the stairs and
Well, you
walk
should
down
have
the
told
stairs.
me. I was up the stairs and everything. I was everywhere. I was in finding. We found a little like a Tourette thing, and all these with all these amazing artifacts and stuff. That's my
Wow.
curious nature. I just go on an
Yes.
adventure.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in that castle, I know I haven't even seen a quarter of it. But I
Yeah.
love that it's being restored and everything. And we keep going back to the castle because it is such a prominent thing, like it was such a find and such an experience. And we just want everybody to understand that
And do you
yes,
find that you are motivated and enlightened when you go there?
oh yeah. Well, even though I'm the host, I experience it as well.
Mm.
But for me, it's watching everybody,
Yes.
and just like it doesn't take a whole lot of organizing. It takes organizing, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't take a whole lot of organizing because
Mm.
we have a thing scheduled in, but the experience people mostly want to experience the castle and experience castle life and things
Mm.
like that. So, it's all about there. And then when the Earl gives you the tour and shares the history of it, like that's
Yes.
a story, where
It is in
sharing.
itself. A beautiful, beautiful home. So, Karen, what's the next? I mean, you're everywhere, everywhere. You're even going to be on a
Omnipresent, Kez, we call it omnipresent.
but you're even on a magazine cover very soon. I don't know which one
Yes.
it was. I see that's coming up very soon. Plus, your next book, when is that coming out?
Well, like a gift and gratitude would be January 22nd.
Okay.
We were going to do it December, but it'll be January now. So,
Mm.
a gift and gratitude would be January 22nd. There is February 22nd will be the freedom and forgiveness, and then the
Mhm.
beauty and belief will be in March 22nd. So we're
Wow.
really getting those out all to align with going out into the US market later in the year. So I have another magazine that I'm part of, that will be it'll be a really catalyst for my writings because that's what the audience.
It's
Well, it's going to be
amazing.
amazing. There's a lot of things happening, and it's funny because it was only this year that I really started to I felt that I built momentum and had the space for the magic of my authorship
Mm.
because I became an accidental publisher, and that was, I ended up, just having huge success and
Yeah.
going on a really awesome journey as a publisher. And I love being a
Yep.
publisher, always will be. But I was then able to, because I got all of the systems in place and I set the intention to have time for writing. Um, and so the magic of that could happen. I created space and energy to pursue that. And it's just been going bigger than I could have even imagined. So,
Mm.
so I do things, as a test dummy to show authors what's possible when you put energy into your authorship because you are the person that is connected to your books the most. You are the person that needs to drive that ship, and I'm the publisher who supports it to make it happen. So
Fabulous.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, you need the
Yeah.
author behind the book.
Yeah, you do. You do very much so. But you not only publish MMH. What are your other publishing houses?
Yes, so we have KMD Books, and that's for our nonfiction, for our thought leaders, and for our business owners. And we do a lot of anthologies in there, business anthologies, which are very
Mm-hmm.
popular beautiful. We've also been, there's some subdivisions coming in. So Women Changing the World Press is in there. There's so many, lots of little, there's a few other ones that are coming up that we will mention. So KMD is really on a big trajectory of growth. The KMD is kind of like a pandemic success story, because I had so many business owners who during the pandemic had time to write their books that they hadn't had time to do. So they turned the negative into a positive and used that time to finish their books and stuff. And so then I was the person that would help them either write it, go through the writing process, or publish it. So it's so amazing to see all those beautiful books, and a lot of them are coming out now. And then we have Serenity Press, and Serenity Press is my traditional press. It's my $1 million press.
Yes, it is.
It's where I have the Duchess of York as my author. She's amazing. We have a 22 book deal with her. I think we're up to book 7 now. And and so she's has the kindness collections, because she's all about kindness.
I love her books.
All of her books have morals in them. They're beautiful. We collaborate with as many Australian illustrators as we can, and all of that. It's just beautiful. So the DSP, which is the Duchess Serenity Press, is a division of Serenity Press, will be launching early next year. So that's why you probably haven't heard so much about the Duchess's books apart from in my network, because we haven't launched the big division yet for that.
Beautiful.
We also have fairy tales, and the fairy tale retellings just make my heart sing. And recently, and quite soon, I'm interviewing next week, actually, Juliet Marillier, who comes to the castle with me all the time.
Lovely. Yes, I like Juliet. Yes.
I love her. She's a really prolific, amazing, award-winning author of folklore. And she came to the castle, and then I asked her, would she like to write for Serenity Press, just an original collection. And she was actually writing it when we were there last time, and it's been published. And it is one of my most favorite books. I want to see, have I got one? Yes. I don't know if I've given you this yet.
No.
It's in linen. I'll bring this in for you next week. It's in linen. And it's gold. We've got them in the back. This is a collector's edition, and I love it. And they are like hotcakes. We have to initiate another order because people are loving this. And Kathleen Jennings, who is a huge award-winning Australian illustrator, who handcrafts these little illustrations.
Oh, wow.
Out of actual black card, and she carves them out. She has this beautiful process, and she shares the process of this book.
There's a little bit like Lorena Carrington.
Yeah, well, Lorena uses photographs.
Beautiful.
And Lorena is amazing. I absolutely adore her. These are all hand carved, and then
gorgeous,
beautiful, gold in there. This is all golden.
How clever.
And this pea soup is one of my most favorite ones.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
You're going to love this book. It's a keeper, and it's one of my favorites for 2021.
Oh, fabulous. So I also know, before we finish, we have another 5 minutes. So before we finish, I know there's something big happening before Christmas. And what's that?
Which things, Kaz? Is this my bookshop?
yes, your bookshop. I am so chuffed about this.
Yeah. So, and again, that was a serendipitous event, and we all know that accidents don't happen. They happen, So, my old office closed down. The building closed down, so we had to move out of there. And I was like, "Where are we going to go? And we need, a nice office. We have our warehouse, but we needed a nice office." So, I am a DJ host at a radio station on a Monday. And their premises that they had up at Rockingham Beach, which is the place that stole my heart in the whole world and kept me here, had a shop front coming up for rent. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. So I get to hang out at Rockingham Beach every day. So we are opening in a few weeks' time. We're getting shelving and stuff done, but we're going to be hosting an author event that I haven't even told you about yet, but it's happening on December the 16th, where we have a lot of my local authors coming, and we're going to have a celebration in the shop. So it's,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful. You've done so well. And this bookshop is really going to make a difference. Really a big
Yeah,
difference.
it's a bookshop just for my authors, by the way, everyone. We're not going to have, there is another bookshop coming into the area, and that will have all different types of books, but this is a bookshop for my authors under
Yes.
KMD Group. So, MMH Press, Serenity Press, and KMD Books. Okay.
Yeah, it just sounds like right by the beach too. And it's just going to,
It's
people
not going to be
buying
a
your books.
chore. It's not going to be a chore, and I'm bringing my tongs with me because I'm going to be going on lots of walks just along the beach every day, and you'll see my COVID curves disappear.
I love it. COVID curves. I've
It
got a
won't
new
feel like a
name.
chore at all.
That's lovely.
I know.
Well, Karen, our time is definitely up. Yeah, but they still haven't told us that it's up, so we'll just keep talking. So,
How cool are we to be just able to just go on cue and just keep speaking, because we could talk all day, couldn't we, Cass?
we could. Now, I've just got a little note from the guy that's running this, TJ, and he says, can you please once again tell the viewers and the listeners where to find you on social media?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm very active in LinkedIn and on Facebook, but if you go to kpweaver.com, I've got some free meditations and mindful moments in there. So that's where all of my authorship is. You find my TEDx talks and other Think and Grow Rich stuff in there. And also you'll see my up and coming books and current books. And you can also go to MMH Press, where you can buy all of my books. Also, you can go to serenitypress.org if you want interested in the Duchess's books or the fairy tales. And you can go to MMH Press for Kez's books too, and to kmdbooks.com for all of those thought leaders. So many amazing books for Christmas gifting, because books are a gift of knowledge. When stories connect, they can ignite something within somebody else, which is a true gift.
Well, Karen, thank you so much for coming on with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, I will see you on Monday at the radio station.
I'll see you Saturday on your lunch.
Oh, yes, you will. Oh, my goodness, I forgot. Yes, you will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just when you reminded me. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.